Yo, 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 what's up? We are back with another edition of Check the Credits. Welcome back and thank y'all for coming back and checking us out. Today our guest, boy, this is the person who sort of got me up in this game. You know what I'm saying? On a professional level. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm wondering if I should tell the story. Yeah, I'll tell the story. I'll tell the story. All right, I want to keep it as brief as I possibly can. But I was being a roadie, right? I was moving equipment for bands, for local bands and stuff like that. And I came across this band who was signed to MCA Records, and they had a single out on the radio called It's Gonna Be Lonely. It's a Prince remake of It's Gonna Be Lonely. And I started stalking this band, okay? One, because I loved the music that they were playing. Two, because of their lead vocalist, who was also the bass player of the band, that, I was madly in love with. I was stalking her. You know, turns out she had a boyfriend who's her husband at this point, who looked like he was one of the members of Full Force. So I wasn't going near that, understand? But we built a professional relationship. I got to know her moms, Carol Killings, rest in peace. And she and William Burke allowed me in, let me come in and learn more about roadieing and doing music, introduced me to Joyce Finderella Irby from Climax, and Dallas Austin, a 16-year-old Dallas Austin, and we were all in Mrs. Killings' basement just making music and having fun and building the building blocks of the fabric of the music business that ended up exploding in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? One could possibly say it all started in that basement. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, so that's my thing. We went on to have a longer history, but we'll go into that. But first, let me introduce you guys. Y'all, and you've heard her voice. You know her. You know, some say that she's the unofficial fourth member of TLC. She's traveling with, you've heard her voice on a lot of Outkast records, because she was in there with Organized Noise laying background vocals. Another Bad Creation, Boys to Men, Monica, the list goes on. And then you might have been seeing her on the road with Lionel Richie, playing bass for Lionel Richie, or playing bass for Outkast, and now Big Boy. The list goes on. The list goes on. So she's a background vocalist, she's a singer, she's a songwriter, producer, and a musician. Okay? I've never had any of that. We've never had any of that on our show. So without further ado, let's give it up for my girl, Debra Killings. What's up, girl?
Hey, Ian. I appreciate you for inviting me out.
Hey, man, look, I appreciate you coming, because it's a nasty out here tonight.
You know what? It took me what would normally take me about 30 minutes to get here, 38 minutes to get here. It took me about an hour. Yeah, the weather is really messed up out there.
Right. But you're here.
I am. Here I am. Bass and all.
Yes, and she brought her bass like I asked her to.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I can go on from that story, but before I do, first of all, just let people know where you're from, and we have to talk about this love affair with you and music. You know what I'm saying? And how it began. You know, because you've done a whole lot. You have been one of the most recognizable voices, unrecognizable faces in this industry. So let's start where you pick a starting point.
Well, I think the love of music first started with my mom. She used to play piano and teach us, old hymns she used to play in church. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where it stemmed. And then my brother picked up guitar.
Right.
And he would go on the road with these. My dad we were stationed, I'm Army brat, stationed in Augusta, and he would go out and do these gigs with quartets,
right,
playing guitar, and And I just, everywhere he was, I wanted to be. So I was like, well, maybe he's playing guitar. Maybe if I play bass, they'll bring me along.
So it's you following behind Big Brother.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the whole.
That's the whole thing.
That was my start.
Right.
My brother climb a tree. I'm climbing a tree. My brother playing football in the streets. I'm right behind him.
Right. Right.
Yep. That's how it started.
Okay. Okay. So how did that lead into, okay, we're going to start a band?
Well, in high school, my brother Alvin Spikes, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
And a few other musicians, we were at Lakeshore High School, and they would always be in a band playing behind talent shows, because talent shows was really hot back in the day.
Yes.
So me and two other girls, we were just going to sing on these talent shows. So we learned all the songs and whatnot, and I was trying to learn bass at that point.
Right.
And Alvin was kind of teaching me. So they would do these rehearsals down in the basement. I would bring my little rinky-dink toy bass and sit on the sideline and watch Alvin and then try to do what he does.
Right, right.
And then they did a gig, and I was supposed to be just singing a few songs. And he hadn't been under contract with somebody else to go do a show somewhere else. So they came and pulled him off the stage with the police and said,
wow.
If you don't go with me to go do this show here, you're going to be arrested. So Alvin had to leave us and then they're left with a bass player, without a bass player. And I just so happened to have my bass. And that was the first show that I ever sang and played at the same time. So
right.
And that was on the spot. And so I was in the band thereafter.
So it was a case of, you had to step up.
Well, at first it was the case of my brother didn't want me coming to rehearsals or near them.
Right.
She's in the, no. My mom told him, let's set him down, and you know how brazen she was.
Yes, I do.
In a second.
Yeah.
You take your sister to those rehearsals. If you don't take her, your ass can't go.
Right.
So it was just like that. So that's how I ended up going to the rehearsals and actually kind of semi-learning the songs that they were going to do for that particular show that the bass player got X from.
Right.
So.
Oh, wow. Okay. So how did that lead? Let's fast forward just a tad. How did that turn into a meeting with Joyce Irby?
Can you explain who is Joyce Irby, Ian?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Because the Cashjunky generation don't know who Joyce Irby is. Ian.
Now that's true. That is so true.
You know what? You know what? I'm just sitting
Do
here.
you know who Joyce Irby is?
That's why I'm asking him. He got to tell us.
He's Cashjunky.
Yeah, he got to tell us.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, like,
okay.
it's going to be a lot of people that look at this like, who the Joyce Irby?
Right.
Okay, well, listen.
And
Okay,
that makes good sense.
Joyce Irby, I know of Joyce Irby, of course, because she was in this band called Climax, this all-female band called Climax.
Right.
That
the
was
only
very
female band that first that came out like during the what year?
at the 80s, yeah, and had that record out, The Men All Pause, and Meetings in the Ladies' Room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And her big ballad, I Miss You.
Yep.
So it was like, we were all like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So that's who Joyce Irby was. Her real name actually was Joyce Fenderella Irby.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So, and she was the bass player of that band.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So she was, of course, for my generation coming up, because I'm a 60s baby and a 70s child.
Right.
So for me growing up and seeing this all-female band and seeing how funky and everything that they were, you know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, wow, it's really cool. So, all right. So that's who Joyce Irby was. My bad. I'm sorry. All right, so let's fast forward to her being interested in you.
I cannot for the life of me remember how she got in contact with us, but it was because,
the The bass,
Yeah.
a female bass
Female
player.
bass player. And I just cannot, I can't remember I cannot remember how we got in contact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think she might have put in a call to my mom.
Okay.
And
Which seems like that was the normal route for
right,
everybody.
Right, because my mom was managing us
Mm-hmm.
at the time. So, and then, you know, we got our first deal with MCA.
MCA, yes,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then and I think she fostered another deal for us. Was it Arista?
No, it was Electra with Sylvia Rome.
Silver Room.
Yeah.
No, but Electra.
Electra
It
was
was
Modest
Arista.
Folk. Was it Arista?
Yeah,
I thought it was with Sylvia Rome.
it was.
She
I thought
was-
she was with Arista.
No, she's not. Electra.
I tell you, the mind is a terrible thing to waste.
It was either No, you know what? It wasn't Electra. It was Atlantic.
Atlantic. Woo!
Yes.
Boy, I didn't tell you. I done had what's so crazy is I've had so many deals.
Right.
It's just hard to pinpoint it.
Right.
So you're right. It was MCA
Atlantic.
Atlantic.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, Sylvia Rome was my girl.
Sylvia Rome. Yeah. Y'all just had the female power going there.
Man,
You know.
Sylvia was the one.
Right. And of course, you know, I went on to work for Sylvia for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I got to meet her after you guys had did the deal. But all right. So your first single, let's go back to MCA. Your first single, and I have to ask this. Your first single was Prince remake, It's Gonna Be Lonely.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet Prince?
I never met Prince, but I had during the Monique show.
Mm-hmm.
I had a representative call and say that Prince wants you to come and play. He wants you to come and audition. So he wants you to be in the band.
Right.
So I was like, oh my God. And I had heard some things and I was like, well, do I really want to give up, you know, a local gig, being at home, making pretty nice money
Right.
to go on the road? I said, nah. So I turned it
You
down. I was like,
turned it down?
I'm good.
Oh wow.
They were-
That you turned down Prince?
Yeah, I had to. I could not fathom myself, you know, leaving home. Because, you know, I'm a homebody.
You are a homebody. Yes, I know that you would.
If you want something, you know, you got to call me way out of
Right.
Coweta.
Yeah.
So-
And more than likely, you'll be under a car fixing it.
You know what? Only if I have to. Only if I have to.
All right, so cool. All right, so you all heard that she turned down an offer to play with Prince.
I had to.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad. You know what I'm saying? You want to be home.
Yeah.
You're starting a family, and you know
And
it
then
is
the
what it
Monique
is.
show was just getting started.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? It
right.
lasted 3 years. which
Right.
We thought it was going to last. We thought it was going to be like a 10-year.
Right. And
But,
you
you know.
you were getting paid crazy on that.
It was beautiful. I could not fathom going on the road, leaving that.
Right. I feel you. I feel you. So okay, so you turned down the gig with Prince.
Mm-hmm.
You had that first record. Let's talk about the the show's called Check Your Credits. So let's go into your credits now. Dallas Austin, of course, started in that basement.
Yep.
Did he produce any of your early stuff?
Yeah.
You know, I thought so.
Yeah.
I know that he produced Hey Mr. DJ for Joyce Irby. Yeah, he produced Hey Mr. DJ. But let's talk about the Dallas Austin years and you picking up your credits.
Okay.
All
So,
right.
well, the Dallas Austin thing started probably, it might have started alongside you because he was doing lights for us.
Right. Right.
setting up lights, and we get to a show and be like, he's slow as molasses,
Right.
and be like, oh my gosh, we got 30 minutes before showtime. He
Right.
still ain't through. Oh my God, I would have to, come out from the back and help him, put up his lights, do what he had to do, and but needless to say, he got Joyce came in the picture, and then production with her, and then he got the opportunity to go work out,
Right.
fly out and work with Boys to Men for Motown.
Right.
So that's how he really got his kickstart.
Mm-hmm.
And so he comes back home, and he's working with a young group called ABC.
Yes, another bad
That was my
creation.
very first. No, as a matter of fact, yeah, that was my very first.
Okay.
Aside from Joyce's stuff, some
Right.
of Joyce's stuff.
Right.
And so they were babies.
Yeah.
So they really weren't singing, and to do harmonies and backgrounds and stuff like that, they're babies.
Right.
So he was like, I need somebody to sing. I'm gonna call Debra. Call me. He was like, can you sound like a little boy? I was like, sure. So I came in. I did all the backgrounds. I had to sing all the leads like a little boy, with sound
Right.
and enunciate and all of that, just like a little boy. And then they would sing on top of it,
Right. Right.
and to try to make it sound more, authentically like that. So, and that's when, that was my very first, just vocally, like something that just hit the airways and just went.
And just took the straight off. So how was it going from being in front to doing the background vocals?
I didn't mind.
You didn't mind at all?
No, because it's a lot of pressure that comes from being out front. And anytime I could take a back seat and just be able to, still do music, I was good with it.
Okay.
And plus, it's different. It
Okay.
was different back then. Like when you get paid, like it was paying good.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I'm sure. So we moved from ABC to TLC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how did all of that?
Well, I can remember the very first time I met them. It was at Doppler. And I walk in, and I don't know why at first, I know Chili, Rosanda, she was like, we don't need nobody else to sing our vocals. We could sing our vocals. T-Boz was like, well, she didn't care one way or the other.
Right.
Lisa was like, let her sing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but they turned out to be my ace boom coons.
Right.
They admitted me into the itty bitty titty committee. And it was just all love.
Right. Okay. And you did it for all the albums.
Yes, but not all the songs on
Okay,
the albums.
okay.
Only because I remember one album. It might have been the second album. I was real pregnant with
Rex.
with
Rexy.
my son, little Rex.
Right.
And I was about to give birth and couldn't fly out to Minneapolis. And so that was one of the songs. I think they did one or two songs on that album, but that was like the only ones.
Right.
And also, I think like maybe on that second or third record, Jermaine and Dallas were having a beef or something. So I
okay.
didn't get to sing on of any of Jermaine's stuff because he didn't want to use nobody Dallas was using.
Got it.
So other than that, that's it.
I got you. All right. So ABC, TLC, background vocal check.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Organized Noise and Outkast.
Okay, so during all of this time, LA would come in town, and I would have
LA Reid is
Yeah.
the co-owner of LaFace Records.
We know who L.A. Reid is.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah, we know who L.A. Reid is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
Listen, I have to now.
See, he be trying to be funny.
No, I'm on the edge right now. I'm on the edge. I'm like, okay, let me tell you who he is.
For those that don't know.
For those that don't know.
Right. And Babyface, they would come in town, and then, so I guess they were doing a record. Outkast was doing a record, or Organized Noise was doing a record. And so they were asking LA, who do y'all use, for background? We need some background time. Call Debra.
Ah, okay.
So that's how I got footed into all the Outkast stuff and the Organized Noise stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
And then Waterfalls as well.
right.
So
I was just about to say, okay, name some of the songs, some of the classic joints that we would have heard you on.
oh my gosh.
And I know it's damn near all of them, but go ahead.
You mean, okay, for TLC is almost all of them.
No, for
In general.
Outkast.
For Outkast.
Yeah.
We can go back to TLC.
We
can
can
talk
do
about that.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so Hat to the Back, name them.
Not one.
Baby.
Baby. What's the first single? Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
Yep.
Hat to the Back, Baby. You said Waterfalls, which was an Organized Noise
Unpretty.
produced yours. Unpretty.
And I played bass on that.
Did you play bass on that? Oh, you don't? Do you remember the bass line?
No. I don't even know why I'm sitting here with this.
Yeah, you
got to crank that up.
You gotta crank. You gonna have to crank it up.
I'm letting you talk to Ian and be cool, but you got to crank that up.
See, he's the musician.
Oh,
He
okay.
He's the drum guy.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
All right
so
now.
he gets. That's why I was like, yeah, just go ahead and bring it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he gonna wanna he
Yeah, she
gonna
gotta
throw
crank
something
that
at
up,
you.
Ian.
You know what I'm saying? Huh?
Okay.
She got to crank that guitar.
Okay,
up.
nah,
We
she
gonna
gonna we're gonna crank it up. We're gonna crank it up. So all right, but Outkast,
Okay.
Jazzy Belle,
Yes. Jazzy Belle.
Rosa
Baby.
Parks,
Yep.
something playlistic.
Yep.
All right, were you on Players Ball? No, that was just Sleepy.
Players Ball.
It's beginning to look a lot like what? Follow my every step. The Christmas record.
A lot of them, I have to hear them
Right.
because somebody was like, Deb, is this you singing? And they played it. It was Jezebel.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, that's me. Is that me?
Is that you?
That is you.
You got to take credit for that.
No, that's
That's
and
tell you.
and that's what made me realize, okay, I didn't even know the name of that song until somebody told me it was Jezebel.
Right.
Because a lot of times I don't get the names of the song.
They just
go in
tell you
there.
and sing.
They sing this, and sometimes they'll hum it out, or they'll say follow this, or you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I sing it, and I'm gone. So I don't stick around.
So you weren't that studio person. You was just like, let me go ahead and do my job. I
No,
collect my
'cause-
paycheck.
Yeah,
and,
because at the time, like during all of this, the TLC era, the Monica era, the Tony Braxton, the TLC, all of this, you know what I'm saying? It had me in the studio. I would have at least
Constantly.
2 to 3, sometimes 2 to 3 sessions a day,
yeah.
and that was a lot. And I was trying to raise 2 sons.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was actually a lot. And as, yeah, it was.
But it was more than just a job for you, because like at the end of the day,
was
this
a
is something that
passion.
exactly. Okay. And
I can
that's
remember,
what
I can remember praying. I was like, there was this, I don't know if you know who the Waters are.
no.
The Waters are like during the 70s and the 80s. and some of the 90s as well. Anybody who wanted vocals done, background vocals done in LA or anywhere, New York, I don't care where you were, you called the Waters.
Got it. Okay.
And I can remember listening. I was like, oh man, Lord, I could do that. I could put harmony on all that stuff. And he gave me exactly what I prayed.
What you prayed for?
I prayed for it. And that's what he gave me. So
And you were like the premier, because all of those artists you named, Tony Braxton, Monica, Outkast, TLC, you were like ABC, you were like the premier background vocalist in Atlanta.
well, at the time, it was just me working.
Right.
Premiere, I don't know.
I mean, if you want all those albums, that's the most requested. 3 sessions a day.
Yeah.
Almost. You know what I'm saying? You just out there just doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I would call you and a lot of other people would call you the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody they may not know your face,
Right.
but they definitely know that vocal. Okay? Which brings us to another point.
Okay.
Idlewild.
Okay.
Okay. Now
That
I was with you.
an experience.
That was an experience. At this point, let me point out. At this point, I was managing Debra. I was Debra's manager, and we got the call to participate in Idlewild. So when you see Paula Patton, who was the female star of the movie, when you see her singing in the movie, the voice you actually hear is Miss Debra Killings. So we were in the studio with Andre, Paula, the director Brian Barber. It was just that was it. It was just us in
And it
the
was
studio.
the strangest thing because I had never been in a movie type situation like that where you
Right.
had to actually. He was like, well. The way you're gonna start out scared, so you got to sound like you're really scared.
Right.
So he made me, sound like I was cracking and scared. He made it was funny.
And all of that played out in the movie too.
Yeah.
And
She had to mimic what I had actually said.
recorded, right?
So, and then she was like, "Well, Dad, you're gonna have to show me. Can you show me because she can't sing a lick,
Right.
and she'll tell you that. You know what I mean? And she was like, "Well, show me how to. Should I throw my head back here?" So I think I spent about 2 or 3 hours with her trying to show her. Yeah, you throw your head back here on this, and then you could just kind of ease on the mic, right there.
Right. Right. So you were on. You were not only in the movie, but you were on the soundtrack as well.
Yeah, just the soundtrack. I was on the soundtrack.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were on the soundtrack.
Yes.
And the movie.
Yeah.
So where was there any confusion with Joy?
You know what? What happened is I can remember
Joy is another singer from the 90s. For those of you who don't know, who had a hit record called
2006.
Pressure, that was on Rowdy Records. She was signed to Dallas Austin. Just a phenomenal. For me, she was the intro to that whole neo soul type of vibe.
Was.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight eclectic.
Right. Exactly.
Creative.
Yeah.
The furs. She would wear the scarves with nothing under them.
Right.
That kind of
just a black rock star. You know what I'm saying? And this predated Erykah Badu and Dionne Farris.
Yeah.
So for me, she sort of launched that eclectic female singer. So anyway, that's who Joy was. So we're trying to clarify.
So Joy, most people don't. Well, a lot. I've heard banter on the IG and Facebook or whatever. I've seen it where one person, somebody said, "Great job, Debra Killings," or something, singing on Idlewild. I just found out it was you or whatever.
Right.
And one person bantered in and said, "That's not Debra Killings. That's Joy." And when I tell you, it went back and forth, back and forth, back
Right.
and forth. That's not Debra. Read the credits, so and so and so. And then somebody finally came with the conclusion. The
Right.
conclusion is, and the real conclusion is,
Right.
Joy sang it originally
On
on the album.
the album.
I sang on the soundtrack.
Okay, so the album is, what was I didn't know that there was two.
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a soundtrack, and then there's the album.
Okay.
The album came out first.
Okay, the Idlewild album came out first.
I don't know if it was an Idlewild album, but it was. I don't know how it came out first.
Really? Was it on her record or something like that?
It was on Andre's record.
Okay.
Andre 3000.
Right.
He did some songs, and all these songs were remade for
the movie.
For the movie.
Ah. Okay, but she sang it first.
She sang it on the album first.
Right. Right. But they chose you to come in and do it for the movie. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you both get kudos.
Kudos.
But yours, of course, is the version that everybody knows because most people saw the movie.
It was a movie.
Right. Right. Okay. So that experience, even though kind of strange, was still...
It was awesome.
Okay.
I loved it.
That's what's up.
I can remember us driving down there.
Yeah.
How long did it take us to get there?
We were, was it Wilmington? It was Wilmington, North Carolina. So no, it wasn't that long. Maybe 6 hours, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, it was the sound. It was the lot, the sound stage in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yep. So, like I said, I was managing Debra at that time, and Debra was just doing some really, really cool gospel stuff, and I just felt like she called me over. I listened to it. I just felt like I could pull a deal together. I knew some people in gospel, and I wanted to shop the material. And I was able to land a situation with Max Siegel over at Verity Records. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So, and we did the deal. You did these records. Now, your first single was Message in the Music, which was written, actually, surprisingly, I think that's the only record you didn't write on, and the only record you probably didn't produce. It was written by Candy Burris from Escape and produced by Dallas Austin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a really, really, really good record. But you wrote and produced, arranged everything on that album. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And I'm so, you know what? Oh my goodness. My friend is going to kill me because I was talking about you recently, and oh my goodness, she is going to kill me. I need to probably call her right now because she was like, oh my god, yo, can we do this?
No, we can't.
Oh my goodness.
No, we can't.
I was about to call her.
Nope, you call her after.
She was like,
don't tell us the story, Ian.
We were talking about you, and she was like, I mentioned your name, and she was like, I said, I know you don't know who Debra Killings is. She said, that's my favorite gospel album ever.
What?
Yep. And she's like, I know the whole album backwards and forwards.
Oh my gosh.
I said, what's the name of the album? Surrender. I was like, whoa. And I pulled it up. I Googled it, pulled it up. And she was like, I said, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to have her on the podcast, and I'm going to have you here so you can meet her.
Oh my gosh.
And she was so excited. Her name is Jocelyn Jackson.
Jocelyn, you should be here. You get in.
You get in.
You get on in.
So I'm so sorry. But anyway, you did everything on that album. Let me tell you, she had this closet studio. It was literally in a closet.
Yes.
Had the Control 24 and everything. Like when I tell you, and this is the reason why she is so amazing to me. I will always be a Debra Killings fan, and I'm proud to call her my friend. But y'all don't understand. Like she wrote, produced, arranged everything on this album. You know what I'm saying? With the exception of the first record.
That wasn't because I wanted to.
Well,
That's
the budget was.
It was presented to me, and I was like, I want to do this. I got something to say.
Right.
Here we go.
Right.
And anybody could have been on the bandwagon. It's just that I I don't know. I don't know how it turned out that way. It just
Yeah,
turned out
no,
that way.
and that's I'm sorry, Fred Hammond produced
Yes,
on that
Fred
album
Hammond
too.
did do
You know what I'm saying? He produced
Yeah.
on that album, but that album had Jesus, Surrender, Message in the Music,
Without
Oh My
Him.
God, Without Him. You know what I'm saying? I know all these records and all like that because we actually did a live concert.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And who we had Alvin Spike, we had John Ely.
Yeah.
We had and this is the band that played behind her. We had
My brother.
Jimmy, and we had Tom. Have
Tom
you
Knight.
have you been seeing Tom Knight's? Tom Knight is a phenomenal drummer. Went on tour with TLC and everything like that. Was always a nerd geek white boy.
And he looks like he's the kind that could stand on his head and walk downstairs now.
Right. Like he's a supermodel right
Yes.
now.
He's supermodeling.
So you've seen that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but he's an amazing drummer. He's a
Nobody
great
like
friend.
him.
You know,
Nobody.
absolutely.
This is what pre-record will do.
Nah, we can't edit that.
Yes, yes. No, they would kill me.
And her husband on the keyboards.
Right.
One of their husbands
Mike
on the
McElroy.
keyboard. Yes, absolutely.
Tiffany. Did I say Tiffany?
You said
Tamika?
Tiffany and Tamika.
Tiffany, Tamika, and
Were they twins? They weren't twins.
Tamika was the dark skins.
Oh, okay. So we had two redheads.
Two redheads, which were sisters, which
Right.
was Tiffany and oh my gosh. Edit that out.
I edited the first part out.
Well, we'll say the two redheads and
And Tiffany, Tamika.
Tamika.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, and that it was a great album. And my thing was I wanted to do the deal with Jive Verity because they're with Verity Jive because Jive was their distributor, and I felt like they would take you more into a commercial space.
Right.
Which unfortunately didn't happen the way
Right.
we wanted it to happen.
Correct.
But still, all in all, it's a great album. And if you ever have the chance to listen to it, stream it, download it, you can go to YouTube. The whole album's on YouTube. It's called Surrender. There are live performances on YouTube as well. So what was that? Go ahead. What was that whole process like for you?
What in making that record?
And making the record and why you wanted to make that record. Because we had some of those songs right before. You had to give me some of those records to shop.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think I got born again probably at the age of 22, something like that. Mm-hmm. And
which was 5 years ago. Go ahead.
we wish. Yes, 4 years ago. But I just felt like, okay, I owed it to God to just speak on him or speak about him, tell
Right.
people about him.
Right.
And that's what was in my heart. Love was in my heart. Just gratefulness.
Yeah.
And even if I had to just stayed at home in Coweta County and not, I still would have had those songs. Still would have been singing those songs. So, but you gave me the opportunity to put it on the stage.
Right.
And to, you know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful to you. I really am.
No, my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Because you were, for somebody sitting out in the country and to get a call from a record label saying, we want you.
Right.
That was, you made that happen.
Right.
So.
No, like I said, my pleasure. It was something that needed to be heard. Like I said, I was a fan. I was a fan of the music, and I just felt like it needed to be heard. So, all right.
I appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely. Let's go to On the Road. Now, this is going to be, I know Cash is over here biting at the bit. You know what I'm saying? So let's just talk about the musicianship. Like, you play all the instruments, but the bass is your main instrument.
Yes.
Who have you toured with?
In Raising Two Sons,
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to tour with a lot of people, but I didn't take those opportunities because I was trying to raise them for myself. I didn't
Right.
want anybody else to do
To
it.
raise your children.
So I've had opportunities when I had the opportunity to do shows. Like I did the Monique show, which was 3 years of my life, and then into that came Lionel Richie, on tour with Lionel Richie for about a year, until they said, we're going to England or the UK for a year.
Yeah.
Would you be able to go with us? I said, would I be able to come back home when I needed to? We don't know. No, I'm not going.
Right.
Y'all find somebody else. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the only other tour that I've ever done, well, I've done some spot dates with people, but
Right.
Outkast, I had the privilege of going on their
The final tour. Absolutely.
Yep. So, and that was, from what I understand, I've never done really a lot of touring, so I don't really know the intricacies of, but looking at our schedule, I think it was like 47 countries.
Right.
And 50 something shows between the US and their other countries.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, you get on a plane in Atlanta, you go to California, and then you go to Australia, then Seoul, Korea, then Japan, all in one whack.
Right.
I heard it was, people looked at that schedule and said, this is the worst I've ever seen, because you're not on a bus.
Right.
All of them were on a plane.
On a plane.
All of it was on a plane for 9 months straight. So I could say that I will probably never
Do that again.
do that again. Never, ever. I'll do a bus.
Right.
But I would not ever do
Do it.
just straight.
Okay, so you saying never ever.
Okay, I won't never ever say that, but I'm
Okay.
just saying.
Because only reason why I'm saying that is because you have a son who's a rising soul singer here in Atlanta, and we know how much they love soul music overseas.
Oh my gosh. And you show right. For my son, I'm gone. We are out.
We are out.
Let's go.
All right, so Cash Junkie.
Yep, she got to crank that guitar. You
Okay, listen.
What we doing with it?
Whatever you want to do with it, you the GOAT. This how I know you the GOAT.
Okay.
These folk calling you turning down tours. You keep turning them down. I don't want to go. I got my son. They keep calling though. They don't do that to musicians. I'm a musician. I know. Hey, she ain't never trying to go. They talk to each other, bro. She ain't never trying to go, bro. I don't care. I'm gonna call her.
I'm gonna take that
Yeah,
chance.
that's like greatness. It's real.
But you know what's funny? When I listen to like the TLC tours, I was on tour and not on tour at the same time because my vocals was there.
So your vocals on
I was on
absolutely
tour.
those background vocals is
Yes.
undeniable.
Even like he like
Even
you.
now.
He like you on the Outkast. I know the Outkast song. I know the women in the Outkast vocals. That was you. You're a legend. You're a legend. It's some of them songs they don't know the words, but they know it. Come on and say la 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 la.
Yep.
We don't know that. I don't know that's you. We need to know that's you.
Yeah.
That's why Ian brought you. Ian, I appreciate you.
Oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
showing me some history today. Ian.
Absolutely. My favorite will always be Southern Playlistic, number one. And I know you didn't play the bass line, but I love the bass line on that record. The bass line intro, doom, 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 doom,
Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
See, Ian, you can't hear that thing like
Right
me.
now.
Ian, that thing sound good. Boy, they talking about. I got to put on both. I got 2 headphones in here, Ian.
You ain't
mess it up. I promise you, I didn't mess up on
You
tour.
saucy.
Oh,
You
I didn't
saucy.
mess up on tour. And then there's now I did play this one.
Oh, is that I like the way you move.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you on the bass for that?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Ian, we take credits like this from now on. They got to sing or something. They got to bring their instrument in. You feel me?
That's how we check
I
your
like
credits
this, Ian.
from now on.
You like check my credit. Doom, doom.
But that's an awesome.
Yeah.
That's an awesome title.
Check the credits.
Check the credits.
That's what we came up with that together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes.
Check the credits.
Yeah.
And you know what? That means a lot to somebody like me,
Right.
because that's where I spent most of my career. It's
Right.
in the credits.
Absolutely.
In the money. That's who getting the money. You ain't got to worry about it.
I wasn't complaining at all. I have no complaints whatsoever.
And see, and that's the thing. Like, there no more. Nobody has liner notes anymore. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's true.
Liner notes are like the things of the past.
Yeah.
So what we want to do for folks that did it back in the day, to people who are doing it now, we want to cast a light on it because it's important.
Yeah.
You know, where are we without the background vocals, without the musicians, without the songwriters, without the producers, without the mixers, the mix engineers,
Yeah.
the masterers? All these people play a part in making your music great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
But it's more saturated nowadays as well.
yeah.
So you don't have those select few like any producer that came into Atlanta, they were either gonna use me or a select few others
Right.
for vocals. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who came into Atlanta, we're gonna use Alvin
Right.
or a select few others.
Neil Pogue.
to engineer.
The engineer, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's different nowadays because everybody's doing it for themselves, or the market is just really saturated.
And the sad to say is like the quality isn't the same. Like these people really, Alvin and Neil and people like that, they really cared about the music.
Right, and it was a lot. The whole system of it was a lot more complicated. To do
Right,
too.
right.
'Cause
Because
when
there was no Pro Tools.
No, Pro Tools, you could just take that little pencil,
Yeah.
cut that junk and slice
And
it together
exactly
where you want to.
on the computer.
Back then,
We had
it
reel
was the
to
tape.
reel. Yep.
You took that tape, you lay it on there, you take a razor and slice it like diagonally,
Right.
to make it mesh so it wouldn't sound like bloom when you connect it with the
Right.
tape.
Right.
So yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah. And I don't know. Music is good, but it's nothing like the music, number one, that I came up with or we came up with.
Right.
You know, and then
It's different, but it's still a lot of them are using that stuff from back in the
exactly
day. So
those
that's
who
what
are
we can.
those who are using that warm sound, that authentic,
Yeah.
non-programmable
Yeah.
sound.
But you still have the Anthony Hamiltons, and you have
Oh yeah.
you got your select few that still had that thing on
So
it. though.
so what do you think about Silk Sonic? What is your opinion?
Silk Sonic.
Yeah. Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
I love them. They are killing the game.
Right.
And it sounds authentic.
It sounds authentic,
like
yeah.
the era we grew up in.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I hats off, kudos.
Retro
I
R&B.
love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're really playing that. I mean, there's nothing synthetic about it. You know,
Right.
they ain't sampling. They really playing that song.
So, how do you feel now with your son saying, "Hey, man, mom. You know,
I'm elated.
and I, you know what? I just thought that I know your youngest is into football, is into
Look.
sports.
Speaking of the youngest,
Oh my goodness!
that's him calling. He's wondering where's his mama right now.
Yeah, he's
Son, I'm in an interview. I'll call you back in a few.
He's doing the sports thing, and I just knew that Rex would follow suit. But when I heard rumblings of Rex singing, I was like, no, he's a sports guy. He's going to be
Right.
in the NFL. And you know, and then you told me that, and I
it
was just
the
like,
craziest thing on how I stumbled on it. He would take my computer, and he and his boys would, you know, use it for a day, bring it back, use it for a day, or come to the house. I'd be gone. They'd be using the studio or whatever. Then all of a sudden, I see, what is that? I didn't put that there on my desktop. It was
Yeah.
an icon, you know, MP3.
Right.
I opened it, and there was this kid singing. I'm like, I'm connoisseur of voices. I
Right.
don't know anybody's voice. I was like, that sound like is that Little Rex? I called him. I was like, Little Rex, is this you? He's like, yeah. Oh my God. Never told me he was singing. Didn't find out he was singing until like probably about 3 years ago.
so did he leave that icon on your desktop on purpose?
No.
No. Okay.
He didn't. Because it was just mixed in with a whole bunch of other icons.
Right,
So
right.
I was like, oh my gosh.
So is that a proud moment, or you like, oh, I don't want you
No,
to be
it was
in
a
this?
proud moment.
Okay.
Because I'm all for, you know, I support my kids.
Absolutely.
100 behind whatever they want to do. Either sports, or even if it's a 9 to 5, whatever it may be. But
Right.
when he said he wanted to do music, I was like, okay, you can have the studio over here. Do what you want.
And that was it. Next thing
He
you
been-
know, he's
he been
getting
rolling.
hundreds of thousands of views on his videos.
I'm doing it.
You know, and folks coming at me like, you know Rex? I said, yeah, I know Rex. Yeah, I need to use him for this, that, and the third. It's like, wow, really? Okay. Go on. So I'm really anxious. He's one of the ones to watch.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Coming up with, you know.
He's gonna make some noise.
So, yeah. We're going to sit down and talk to Rex. We going to do that.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, as much as I think I've held you up enough, as much as I can sit here and talk to you about this all day,
Look.
thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
You have shown my guy Cash some things. Cash Junkie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Appreciate you for coming through on us.
Yes, sir.
You feel me?
This is as polite as he's been.
You know
he's
what?
usually wild. He's
Cause
usually
I'm on
wild.
Ian. It's Ian's fault. You feel me? Ian got me up here. He like this and this. See, Ian just come in here. He got it easy. He just come in here and chill. See, I got to come in here and do everything. Ian be
You
chill. I be
gotta
like,
do
Ian, come on.
everything.
Ian, come in here with us. Talk to the guest. She don't know who I am. She looking at me crazy. Ian, come in here. Ian like, all right, let me move in extra slow mo. So
Look,
I have to
Cash-
stay on him like that.
Look, Cash already said we gonna have some blow. Me and Ian go get ready to have some blows.
That's our dynamic. That's why our show is so good.
You gotta
know what
have
I'm
the
saying?
yin and the yang.
Absolutely.
Gotta have
Absolutely.
it.
But yeah, I appreciate like you talking about Alvin and all they real OGs and what
Yep.
we do. Like I'm the head engineer here, so
Yep.
they're real OGs and what we do. And it was a different game, and I do have appreciation for it. It's just easier. But I do like all the old hardware and to get the vintage sound. That stuff
Yeah.
is very important. So those artists that you did name, the Anthony Hamilton, they're still using that stuff to get that warm sound and
I
to get
believe
that
that.
analog feel.
I
They're
believe
using that actual hardware.
So you still have to know how to maneuver that.
yeah, you still got to know how to
do
you
that.
got to like you can do they got like you can use the SSL board and run a complete session through it, but you
Right.
can now they got like Pro Tool recalls and you can do like you can record something at your house and then bring it to an engineer and he can run it through vintage analog gear to give it that warm sound.
Done.
So it still happens. It's just they made the game easy. So it is like most people don't know what they're doing, and the people that do know what they're doing, they're overshadowed by the plethora of everybody else that is oversaturating the game.
It's saturated, yeah. It's all right. But your gift will shine.
Absolutely. The cream will rise regardless. Your cream will rise.
And the word, I don't mean to sound spiritual or anything like that, but the word says your gift will make room for you.
For you, yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, you know that.
Of course, but you already know what game we
He's from the deep south.
Finish the statement. Yeah.
So how can people reach out to you? You know what I'm saying? Out in Coweta, or
Where in Coweta? Shoot. IG Debra Killings.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a website?
I do.
But you don't check it like that. Okay. So IG is the best way. Yeah. So anybody that wants to see the work, or if you have a check, don't hit up Debra if you don't have a check. All right? That's it.
Yes, you can.
No, you better not. You see how she turning down money. Imagine if you don't have any. That's a definite no. No, she's a passion person. Yeah. So if you're doing something that she believes in, she might give you some consideration. But don't hit up my girl with no money. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? This is a legend here. Straight up legend sitting up in here with us
God
today.
has blessed me. I am blessed.
And we know. And we know. Thank you so much, Debra, for coming in and shedding some of your experience with us. It's great.
It was a pleasure.
We're probably, we're waiting. I'm watching to see what you're going to do next, because I feel like something is going to manifest itself.
It will.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and when it does, I won't say if, when it does, we're probably going to have you back talking about that. You know what I'm saying? But thank you for giving our viewers and our listeners something to put a face to the voice, finally. You know what I'm saying? So
thank you.
All right, this has been Debra Killings and I can't say producer, songwriter, arranger, musician, singer, background vocalist. Yeah. All right. All of the above. All the boxes are checked. Are they not, sir?
Check.
You know what I'm saying? So listen, we're gonna do our artist spotlight. So y'all stay tuned. It's coming real soon. All right. Peace.
Late night again, yeah, you know how that is. Yeah, you know how it gets, and you know where I've been. You know why I left, and you know where I went. You know who I came back to. Ran it up and came back home. Know why I came back through, yeah. Know I came back in town for you. Had to spin the block again, double round for you. Shoot it up. What's love got to do with it? Nah, what's it got to do with love? You ain't gotta tell the truth with me. Just make sure that it's true and ain't no lies. We won't never have a problem. I love. Go ahead, roll something and I grab a I say you like them niggas that go get the dollars. Yeah, I can take it there. Talk to me proper. You left the city, then you came back lit. I left the city, tried to come back rich. Tryna make it bounce on the comeback kid. Been to car, but you know how that is. Late night again. Yeah, you know how that is. Yeah, you know how it gets. Yeah, you know where I've been. You know why I left, and you know where I went. You know who I came back to. Ran it up and came back home. Know why I came back through, yeah. Know I came back in town for you. Had to spin the block again, double round for you. Shoot it up. You when you gone and grind for it. Can't put you over there, cause that's what got you here. Knowing it's fine that it's a fine for it. I know you say you're tired of niggas being tighter, but some only want one thing, just like Lauren taught us. So don't make this harder, you know love ain't even easy. Say I'm never there when you are, you tryna leave me. I might go, but I can't leave you alone. You don't even get it, you the reason I'm gone. And I know that you won't leave me alone. Lock it up for me, get the key when I'm gone. Late night again, yeah, you know how that is. Yeah, you know how it gets, yeah, you know where I've been. You know why I left, and you know where I went. You know who I came back to. Ran it up and came back home. Know why I came back for you. Know I came back in town for you. Had to spin the block again, double round for you. Shoot it up.
Right. Late night.
Yes,
Y'all,
sir.
this is my artist spotlight. It's our artist spotlight of the night. Mr. Rex Evans.
Good, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. You know, good vibes with the late night we releasing March 11th.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be great, man.
That's what's happening.
Yes, sir. How you been, man?
I'm
Everything good on your end?
I cannot complain, man. Cannot complain. So you know we just had Mom Dukes up
My
there.
dude's the GOAT, legend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how did it start? She gave me her version of how you were using her computer and happened to leave some music on the computer. I think you left it on there on purpose, just to
It
show.
was a genuine accident. It was a genuine accident.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you growing up, right, you got all these legends around, man. You know, Outkast,
Yeah.
Dallas Austin.
Yeah.
Bunch of people just floating around, you know, and you try to dibble into music. You want to make sure it's, you know, refined. You want to make sure you even got a knack for it before you just go showing
Right.
Debra Killings that you do music or
Right.
anybody. So it was a genuine accident, and I was just relieved when she liked it, man. I'm not gonna- it was great. It was great.
Did you have any doubt in your mind? It was like, oh man, I wonder. You know, first of all, you weren't ready to tell her. Obviously, you weren't ready to tell her yet. You know, you left it on the desktop by accident. You weren't ready for her to find out at that point in time.
Definitely.
Was there doubt in your mind as to whether or not she would like it? Do you think she would have did the mother thing and be like, oh, that's my baby. He sound good regardless.
Nah, so my mom has always been honest. So
Right.
it's always like, you know, maybe you shouldn't do that, or you need to work harder at that right there. Or
Right.
something like that. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? She was
right.
always positive, but she was honest.
Right.
So I did expect honesty, but when she got to it, she was like, man, this is great. Keep working. Like, you got this. And she was my number one fan and number one support and why I kept going for real. So she really kind of inspired me. I picked up the guitar, started playing guitar, started writing, composing, just like, you know, she was. You know, I just kind of followed along her footsteps, trying to bring it into the new world.
The next generation.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So how did it begin for you? Because like I said to Mom, like somebody tell me Rex is he's on his way to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? He's not even thinking about saying, you know what I'm saying?
Playing sports, not instruments.
Exactly. So how did that switch off? You know what I'm saying? And how did Big Rex take that? You know what I'm saying?
So I started my sports journey, you know what I'm saying? It was a great journey throughout high school. You know, football had some little things going on with football, but you know, with being 5'7", you gotta have that heart, that desire, right? And you know, your body gotta hold up, and you know, it hurts, man. I ain't gonna lie, football hurts.
Yeah.
So I left that to my brother. My brother went to college, played in New York and whatnot. And you know, I just kind of took the music route. That was around high school.
Yeah.
Around college area, I started doing music for real. And I didn't look back since. I said, forget the field. We playing instruments, not sports now.
Right.
It was definitely a little transition, but the best transition I ever made in my life.
That's what's up. So how did you go out like, yeah, my mom's is Debra Killings? Did you kind of like shy away from putting yourself up because she's a legend. You know what I'm saying? She's the voice. She's the musician. You know what I'm saying? She's your favorite musician's favorite musician.
Yes, she is.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So how did you work that dynamic for folks who didn't know who you were? Because I knew, you know what I'm saying? I think I found out at the music department, the department store.
Yes, department. Okay,
That's why, because I saw you up there. I'm like, what are you doing up here? Like, you know, I'm singing. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? So I knew the history. You know what I'm saying? I mean, before you were born, I knew the history. But how did you play that coming into the game? Was that a card that you used, or you would like, let me just fly under the radar?
So I still actually kind of have that card. So not many people know. I mean, the people that know. The people that know who she is already knew who I was because, like you said, she's a musician's musician. So like the people that knew, like they already were close enough to be like, okay, this is Lil Rex, this is Ton, this is Big Rex. And every time I just introduce myself, you know, oh, I'm Lil Rex, I'm Debra something, they'd be like, we know who you are, man.
Right.
You ain't gotta introduce yourself, but I always introduce myself anyway. So, but playing that card, I haven't really went out and be like, hey, I'm Debra's Killings son, because I wanted to make sure I did the groundwork myself. I wanted to make sure I put the footwork in myself and worked for my opportunities and make sure that whatever came about was something that, you know, we deserved. And then when it was time to actually be like, yeah, I'm Debra Killings' son, it always came naturally. It was never something that I was like trying to lead with. Every time, it would just always come naturally. I didn't want to feel like, you know, I was using something and didn't deserve it. I just always, you know, with my family, man, you got to make sure you're on point. So it's like, I just want to make sure.
It's just like, listen, you know, it's like being Michael Jordan's son.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? You know, you throw that name out there, you better come with it.
Exactly. And I wanted to make sure, just out of respect for my mom, that when I mentioned her name, I was coming with it.
Right.
So that there was no
argument.
No argument. It's like, I get why you're Debra Killings' son. So that was always the dream and the goal, and that's where we're at. And it's been a great like last year where like everything has just been lining up, and then the Debra Killings, you know, it's beautiful, man. So it's a good card to have. So
see, I feel good, and I know what it is for you, because when people start approaching me about, hey man, you know Rex, you know, listen, I want him to be on this record. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, all right. When you know, they trying to get at you. So obviously you're making noise in the city.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing. And then, you know, of course I had you on my debut season of the Sea Room Chronicles, which I'm still gonna air that, y'all. It's still coming.
Come on.
It is still coming. Oh, what was I going to say about that? You were on my debut series, and oh man, I completely lost my train of thought.
Oh, we were talking about where people were asking for me a little bit, building a little name around.
Yeah,
and I was like,
exactly.
Yes, sir.
So, and you know, and I got a chance, but see, I really didn't get a chance to introduce you because the show hasn't aired yet. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I want to be the one to be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? You know, I found it. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be that too. I'm telling you, as soon as it pop off, nobody gonna be able to say I ain't go through N either. So
yeah, what has it been like for you? You know, I know you said you had a great year and everything like that. Thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views on some of your videos.
Yes, sir.
On Instagram.
Yes, sir.
You know, is there anybody? First of all, who are your inspirations? Because you're not doing what some of these other people are doing in the industry. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, Debra Killings.
Of course.
I grew up on Prince.
Of course.
And weird enough, man, the weekend is a breath of fresh air to me.
Okay.
But most definitely my mom is a very big influence in my life. And then of course Prince. And then
now we were talking about Silk Sonic, Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Your mom and are you feeling anything like Bruno's my favorite at this point?
Okay.
You know, his little retro soul thing that he's got going on, it works. I think he's a tremendous singer. I think he's a tremendous musician. Any influences there at all?
Well, from Bruno, I like his ability to adapt. So if you look at Bruno in the beginning, it was sad songs, it was this, that, and the other, and he went from that Bruno all the way to this Bruno, and there was a different Bruno in between if you actually keep track of him. So with Bruno, I love his ability to adapt, and that lets me know that instrumentation and being talented never goes out of style.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps him, and his vocal, man, that man's a beast. Now that you got me thinking about him, man, that man is a monster.
He is.
There's nothing he can't do. And speaking of Prince, he did the Prince tribute.
Oh, yes, he did.
So it's like, for me to even say I'm a fan of Prince and not say I'm remotely a fan of Bruno would be wrong.
All right.
Because they
absolutely
they correlate.
Now, what about one more? I'm gonna ask about one more. Anthony Hamilton.
Okay, so Anthony Hamilton, yes. So Anthony Hamilton was introduced very early in my life, right? But it was one of those things where he was very soulful, right?
Right.
And being a young kid, you don't necessarily understand that all the time. You kind of just want the rah-rah and the trap and whatever. But as you get older, I've kind of rediscovered Anthony Hamilton. If you look on my Instagram page, REXA Evans, Rex A. Evans.
There it is.
I do a cover of Anthony Hamilton where it's like I'm learning that my voice and my sound is very similar to his actually. And it's just a soulful voice. Like I can get on anything and bring like the soul out of it a little bit. And it's just Anthony Hamilton, man, that man is a monster.
Right.
So, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So, where's all this going? What are your I don't want to say final aspirations, but what are your goals moving forward? What are you looking to happen?
So many goals, man. I want a few deals, man. I can publishing artist deal, all kinds of things. We got a Netflix placement last year. Good. Yeah, we got 3 more in the works right now.
All right, so we're doing sync.
Yeah, so we've linked up with a sync company. They're in love with us. We actually have 2 other sync companies trying to get in, but we're already kind of locked in with one. We have a distribution deal on the way with a big partner. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
The end goal, man. To be able to live and sustain myself off of music. I just want to be able to create and live freely, man. That's the end goal, man. I don't really want too much. I'm not the flashy person.
Right.
Just like we were talking about, with Deb being my mom, and I don't really lead with that. I'm not the rah-rah guy, you know what I'm saying? I just want to be able to live and give some good music and represent music.
Absolutely.
Yes,
and that too, that's a noteworthy goal.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So you know what happens when you have those type of goals, and God will open up the floodgates for you, for sure.
Yes, sir.
For sure. And especially with the talent. The apple didn't fall too far from the tree with you and your moms.
I appreciate that, man.
So, dude, I've been watching. And other people who don't think I know you or don't know that I do know you are saying, hey, man, have you checked out this kid Rex? I'm like, yeah, I know Rex. I know Rex.
Good, man. We on the right track.
You are definitely on the right track.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
sir. How can people get a hold of you, Rex?
All right, so Instagram is Rex A. Evans. Twitter is Rex A. Evans. If you just Google Rex A. Evans, you're going to see a little dark-skinned man, you know what I'm saying, with a little fade. That's me.
Yeah.
So check me out, man. I got a long, good catalog, good music, good quality music. So, man, y'all check me out for real.
All right. One more question. Like, what is your view on the R&B music today?
Ooh, so there's so many, man. So there's so many views. Excuse me. So R&B music, man, is made its resurgence. So it was I wouldn't say it was dead, but it was pop R&B for a minute,
right?
And then now we're getting back into that soul kind of the Hers. I think the Hers brought it out,
right?
People of that nature, where it's the female R&B space. Is flourishing so well.
Right.
And then Lucky Day is coming out. You know what I'm saying? We got this male R&B wave that is starting to flourish just as much. Only thing I'm scared of is it's becoming quite toxic out here.
Right.
With this R&B, man. These girls are going crazy. These dudes is talking about everything. But I love it, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so happy R&B is back, and I'm ready for it to just
Yeah, I'm just,
keep doing
we
this.
have this hip hop R&B and these pseudo singers, what is it, auto-tune vocalists and
Yes.
stuff like that. I'm just ready for some real. That's why I love people like her. I'm glad you brought
Mm-hmm.
her up. And once again, Bruno and Anthony and these people who are really singing. Like,
Yes,
and
sir.
the males are suffering for me the most. Like,
Yes.
can you name any new male singers that's coming out? Do you have any on your in your peripheral?
Lucky Day.
Lucky Day. Okay, and Lucky
so
Day.
Lucky Day. He's out here. He's got that Temptations remix.
Right,
That he
okay.
kind of did a Temptations thing. He has that song with not song with, but he kind of did a rendition of, I think, Music Soul Child's song. So he's talented.
Mm-hmm.
He can sing. But I get what you're saying. We got the kind of hybrid rap R&B.
Yeah.
But so hear me out, right? You got to have the transitions. You know what I'm saying? So we went from a very rap world to a semi-rap world, and we about to go into an R&B world.
Okay.
So you got to have your baby steps. You can't just, you got to put the candy with the medicine. You can't just...
And see, and that's the thing for me is, I'm just ready for it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That's all. I'm just ready for it to happen. I want to be able to turn on the radio again, and because I don't listen to the radio anymore.
Yeah.
So really, I'll probably just want to be able to stream an album like I do my Stevie Wonder albums.
So
you
let
know
me
what I'm saying?
let me ask you a question then.
Yeah.
We're going to flip the podcast
Okay,
for a second.
That's good.
What was the last album you listened to through and through? Like, just no skips. Or the last album you enjoyed? I'll ask you.
Bruno.
Bruno? He did it? Okay.
Between Bruno and Pink. Pink is one of my
is-
favorite vocalists. These newer people, even her, I haven't listened. It's not a situation that I listen all the way through. I could put on, especially Bruno's first album.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Unorthodox Jukebox. I think that was the first one.
The Piano Man, when he was killing it.
Right,
Mhm.
right. I can listen to that all the way through. All the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I also listen to Gorilla. Is that the one? Oh no, that was Unauthorized Jukebox. Was the one with the gorilla on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Beats and Something Hooligans was the first album.
Okay.
So, yeah. That otherwise, like I said, I'm listening to Prince.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to Stevie Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
The most recent person, like Tony Rich's first album,
Okay.
from LaFace Records,
Mm-hmm.
was another one that I could listen to from start to finish.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but those are very far and few between. Otherwise,
Yes.
I'm listening to Elton John. I'm listening to
Boy, got the classics pulled up, man.
the Commodores.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to those. Where I don't, and of course, Michael. Of course, Michael. I shouldn't even
Needless
have
to
to
say.
say. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
Not just Michael though. The Jacksons. The Jackson Five.
Okay.
You
Love
know what
little
I'm saying?
Michael.
Exactly. So, but there's I'm just trying to think. Is there?
Did you like
Bruno's-
Jasmine Sullivan's last album?
I didn't listen to it all the way through. I just listened to the hits. I
So-
do like Jasmine Sullivan
She can-
as an artist.
she can
Absolutely,
sing.
she can sing. But she's not one that'll be like, oh, let me put this on and listen
okay.
all the way through.
Hotel was good though. You give it a listen to.
Okay.
Give it a listen to.
Give me some recommendations.
Okay, listen to Hotels. Male R&B. Well, look, I'm dropping the EP April 18th, and it will be R&B.
It would be the one that you listen
put
to
that
all the
one
way
to the
through.
put that
Right.
one to the side. But
Right.
besides that, man. So I think Lucky Day is dropping pretty soon, and I'm hoping he's got a lot weighing on his shoulders.
Okay.
For the men's R&B's.
Right.
So we're gonna see the status of male R&B for the rest of the year. I hope that we get some musicians and some
It would be nice.
vocalists, man.
It would be nice. Listen, I'm looking at I watch reels constantly on Instagram, and I'm seeing these young male and female musicians. I mean, these babies like going in, and I'm like, man, I think the future could be good because now these kids are going back to playing music, to playing instruments. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the future could be really good. I think that the resurgence is going to happen because, you know, these kids are playing instruments now.
Exactly.
You know, so now we'll see.
We will, man. I'm excited because, like you said, we got people using instruments. We have vocalists, and we have actual like creative people that are trying to push the sound and push the edge. And I think
Not just the sound, they have something to say.
yes,
You
and
know what I'm saying?
And what I've noticed also is they're using. Well, I think what is starting to come around and people are enjoying is the nostalgia of the old music meeting the new music. So if you watch a lot of the Instagram and TikTok and Reels, it's a lot of I'm gonna say recycled, but all music's recycled.
Right.
To a point, there's only so many chords you can play. But
Right.
yeah, man, they're taking these songs and revamping them, and you hear people singing songs that are like, wow, that kid was blown. That kid was singing for real, like no auto tune. It's a phone and him.
Right.
That's it.
That's when you know you got real talent.
And they're going viral.
Yeah.
Catching deals off this kind of stuff. So it's great, man. So I think we're gonna be fine. You know? I think we just give it a little time.
Give it a little bit of time.
And not saying that I'm not a fan of what has been coming out, because you know I do love my in between. I can kind of dibble in the R&B rap world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But some Anthony Hamilton vibes and some Commodore's vibes would be good right now, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely. Or El DeBarge.
I didn't even think about that.
El DeBarge. Yeah, I you know what? It just hit me. It's like, oh man, El was so talented. He is. Let me not say was. He is super talented singer, songwriter, musician.
It is.
And you know, I just thought about it. Like his songs, the songs that he wrote. You know, I listened to that debut album, that DeBarge debut album, from start to finish, and then his older brothers. Tommy and I can't remember the other brother's name. They were in a band called Switch before DeBarge. Yeah, he had two older brothers that were signed to Motown. You know the records. There'll never be a better love. Yeah, have you heard that?
That was them?
That was Switch. That was Switch, and that was DeBarge singing that.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Music. That's crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm. And that came out before DeBarge. DeBarge was the younger siblings of Tommy and, oh my goodness, I can't remember his. There were two DeBarges in the group called Switch.
Music encyclopedia over here, man.
Listen, I studied music growing up and listening to music growing up. I studied liner notes, and that's why we have this show. That's why Cashjunky and I created the show, Check the Credits, because nowadays we don't have the credits. Like, you drop something, and like I got to get with you and like, okay, well, who did this, that, and the third? We don't have liner notes anymore.
Bro, split sheets are even. Some people are like, what?
Right. You know, and that's ridiculous because that's how you get paid. So yeah, that's where the name of the show comes from. Check the Credits.
That's dope.
You know. And we have to know music or be able to study music in order to have this sort of platform. So yeah, that's why we doing it. We checking your credits.
All right, so since I'm a young man working on my credits, got a few in line. Let me ask you this: who give me two people to study, man, so I can. Since we talking about studying and checking the credits, I know you gonna go ahead and give me Bruno, so I'll go ahead and take him.
No, you know what? Let me give you some fresh perspectives, if I can.
Please.
Marvin Gaye.
Okay, perfect.
That's number one.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to go in a whole nother direction. Elton John.
Marvin Gaye and Elton John.
I'm
going to study them, and we're going to have a powwow in about a month.
Okay.
For real.
All right. And I'm listening. I look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm a student of the game.
We might have to bring you back and have
I'm a student of a game. Trust me.
And these are the things. Listen, the lyrics, the way Marvin sang. There's a video of Marvin singing a song perfectly, and he's laying on the couch while the band's playing. It's a rehearsal. He laying on the couch singing, and it's like, oh my God, like he hitting every note. You know what I'm saying? Just chilling.
So not trying to put you on the spot again, man. I'm just once again a student of the game. You're the encyclopedia, right? So do you have like a specific album from either one of those, or just like a time period that I can look at?
I don't know the albums, so and I'm going to be honest about that.
And I'll come back with some albums for you.
But
then.
the early '70s
Okay.
Marvin Gaye, the What's Going On
Yes.
Marvin Gaye, you know what I'm saying? Not the early '60s Marvins, but the conscious,
the worldly
Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? All the way up into Sexual Healing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That era, you know, so you wouldn't have to study every album, but just check out the songs that were on those records.
Okay.
Trouble Man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So with Elton, all you got to do is just get the greatest hits, Elton John's greatest hits.
Okay.
And just listen to those songs and see how brilliantly they were written out. The funny thing is that Elton didn't write. His co-writer wrote the lyrics to the song. And I'm mad because I know this man's name, and I can't think of the man's name, but there was two. Elton did the music. He played the piano, the maestro on the piano, and his partner wrote the lyrics to the song. So the partner would give him the lyrics, and he would create the music around the lyrics that his partner wrote. That was their dynamic.
So that was their process.
Yep, that was their process.
So this dude would write the lyrics just off.
Just this things ideas he had in his head. Write the lyrics to these records, and he would give it to Elton. Watch the movie if you can while you're studying it. There's a movie called Rocket Man,
Yes.
which is a musical about Elton John and his famous songwriting partner. You know what? I'm sorry. I oh my goodness.
I'm about to go watch this.
You know what I'm saying? Rocket Man. Oh my God. I'm so. Well, who is? And I know this man's name, and I'm going to kill myself. Elton John. Writing partner. Came right up. Bernie Taupin.
Bernie Taupin.
Taupin. Yep. Bernie Taupin. Taupin.
I'm about to put that in my notes.
Yep. Elton and Bernie wrote some of the most classic records. Yellow Brick Road, Daniel, Your Song. You know what I'm saying? Just go back and listen to those records and you'll be like, wow, it's incredible. But watch Rocket Man.
Nah, I will, because it's hard to come across some knowledge like this sometimes, man.
So I'm giving you those two
trust me.
artists. And, you know, come back, like, when you're ready, seriously, Rex, when you're ready, call me and we'll do a special show.
I'm going to even put a few songs together, be like, man, this is what I got out of this. This is kind of what, and I got you. Now, trust me.
And I will bring you back on the show and we will discuss those two artists.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it, for real.
All right, then. Well, yo, man, thank you for coming by tonight.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I wanted to get the mother-son combination tonight. Was as important to me to get it. I got it. And, yeah, I really appreciate you, bro.
Man, thank you. I enjoy you having me, man, for real.
All right, so this is my man Rex Evans. His project is dropping when?
April 18th, and I got a single March 11th.
All right,
yes, late night and video late night. Yes,
there it is. And y'all caught it. Y'all got it right here.
Yes, sir.
All right, so y'all, thank you again for tuning in to Check the Credits. I feel like we had a great show tonight. Once again, if you're trying to get a hold of me, it's ianfburke.com or ianfburke. Instagram. My man Cash Junkie's doing a session right now, but we still recording. We got Iman sitting at the controls, just hitting record. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we doing it, but we with this session is still, it's gonna be a great show. Join us next time when we have, well, you know when I know. This is Check the Credits, y'all. Peace.